Hey, Steve, thanks for joining me today. I want to jump in and do a little interview with you here to have people get to know you and kind of your journey in Game Changer, but just in practice and in life. Just start off first by telling everybody, who you are, where you're from, years in practice, kind of the basics that everybody would want to know.
Cool. Thanks for having me. Let's see. My name is Steve Rickman. I am 55 years old. I've been practicing for about 20 years, 20 and a half this year. And I'm married for 25 years, have two twin daughters, a set of twins. They're 22 years old, just graduated from college. Other than that, let's see, happily married, have a great relationship with family and my wife and kids, and that's been the easy part in any of this journey for the most part. I mean, it's been made better with what you've helped me as well, kind of shined up the whole shiny diamond anyway.
Well, I was going to say, you kind of had a diamond going anyhow. Let's be real, you said. But we've been working together in Game Changer since when?
Since the inception.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I can tell you the date.
Absolutely. Well, and we worked together before, and before that, when I was doing some coaching, with Tim Young, and a group we founded, and you were there. And of course, we had some past history when we were in Pinnacle together, which was a great group that did a lot of good things for us. And then, crazy enough, we were also, way back when, we were in 5-star together, right? Yeah, I'm correct on that, right?
You are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know you so well then. I don't even know. Gosh, I don't remember you that much. But Schnitta was. I do remember another man there, and so.
What's crazy is I don't think we knew each other were in there until later on.
Yeah.
So later on in our relationship, we're like, oh wait, hey, you were there. So anyway, we've been through some paces. Anyway, it's been a great journey so far. But so what's really what was not working? Now, you're a guy who, like we touched on when we started here, you had a lot of good stuff going. Like,
sure,
there's a lot of things that are working in your life. But what wasn't working whenever you came into Game Changer?
It was the same thing that wasn't working way before that too, and it's been that constant or that similar thing that wasn't working, or at least I thought it wasn't working, and that was just me in business and my ability to know that I could affect it and grow it and do it in a way that I want to and enjoy. Whereas before it seemed like I was following a script or, acting as someone else. And that wasn't working. That was just not comfortable. And I thought it was the right thing, and a lot of us did, but it just didn't feel right. And now it does. It's starting to feel right. And the things that really, the big thing that wasn't working is just my confidence, in what I could do, my belief in myself, my anxieties were ripping me up about practice growth or it not growing. And a lot of it was imaginary, really. But it was real, but it was just my head, just stories, just full of shit, stories about the way it should be or could be, man, it was just a mountain of shit.
Well, and you mentioned that, some of the anxiety and some of the stuff that you had going on in your head, been there, done that, right?
I find we all do. A lot of us are similar, just don't talk about it. And I'm like, wow, he's like me. So,
yeah, no doubt. Well, with that, I mean, so you mentioned those things, and thanks for being open about it. What were some of the effects of that?
Of the anxieties and just living that way, and shoot, and disconnection with everything, especially the most important would be family and wife and kids, because you're always rolling in the head thinking of, oh, how you can grow it, or why isn't it doing how I want it to. And that, that leads to, or is related to, health issues and sleep issues and body issues. It just compounds when you have all of that stress and anxiety and depressions or whatever on you. You're just not connected. You're not focused and present. Present is big.
Yeah, and it's crazy, right? We talk about that all the time in the profession, about how to be present with the patient. And I think we get pretty good at that at times, although it's really hard to compartmentalize one versus the other. And you're a guy who has a great marriage and has great kids and all this stuff. So people say, like, man, like, that's not disconnected. Can you speak to that? Because often people are like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't sound disconnected to me.
It is. It's you're just not there. Even simple conversation at dinner or sitting around the chat, and the whole family's chatting. Got the two girls over here running their mouth and blah, blah, blah. And they're having fun and laughing and looking at stuff on the computer and showing videos or whatever, kids TikToking, whatever. And you're there, but you're not there. You're not engaged. And they'll ask you a question. You're like, what? You're there physically, but not mentally. You're out in left field at the practice.
Yeah.
And the worries, and I don't know. It's just crazy how it's evolved, and in a good way now, of course, but it was struggle. It was painful. And a lot of the worries too were, like I said, imaginary earlier. They're real, but you worry about problems that aren't going to happen, or worry about a practice failing that's been in, open for 20 years and up until just recently never advertised hardly a bit. And that didn't go down. So it always kind of edged up or stayed the same, and life was good. You got 2 houses and all kinds of other shit, but it's still, it was still a nonstop chatter in the head of worry and disconnect. So yeah, it's just not, you just don't get they don't get the full me.
Man, okay. Yeah, you hit it right there. I love that. They don't get the full Steve.
And then I don't get it. I don't get it.
For sure. Me. Well, how's that transition been? Well, since we've been working together and you've been doing, and nobody's worked, you've been working. So let's call it what it is. It's work. But very specific work. What's been the shift for you? What's changed?
Structure, we talked about the other day, that hit home with me, and having a daily structure and our core 4 that's the hugest, that's the biggest key, I think, for me, is to structure this person in a way that is able to get out of bed and work out, focus, eat right, stay engaged, get engaged into going to work, get yourself ready mentally, instead of beating yourself up and think, oh God, I got to go in there again. I don't want to drive there. That system, your system, and the systems we learn too, but this system that's what's the key. And in addition to that, the maps that you have to help work through so many things, so many stories and problems and issues that come up in your head. You can work those out in pretty dang quickly. And I even use it, I wouldn't say sparingly, but I don't use it 100% in that capacity. So, and it's worked wonderfully. If I have a problem, if I have an issue, even if it's a condo in Branson and a renter that's pissed me off, I can use that tool to make my next move without, bombing him on the phone with stupid shit, which I've done. So.
Well, I've done that too. And that was a really good map, by the way. And you had a really good action step out of that to.
It started again 2 nights ago. So yeah, he came
Okay.
back.
Well, I'll look forward to seeing that as well. but
My
definitely,
first bet you.
yeah, getting you clear, just getting you clear. And that's a challenge. So what you kind of touched on the things that are beneficial to you that you use, but what's your favorite thing? Like if you have a favorite thing about what we do in Game Changer or just about it in general, what is it?
I really do. I get a lot from our weekly meeting. That's one of my favorites, even though it's a time consumer, a whole hour and a half or whatever it is, but you learn a lot. You get to talk with the guys and see where their struggles are, which are damn near the same as yours. And you can just sit and listen and learn so much from it. And then I listen to you, and it just, that if I didn't even thought about that, but that's probably my favorite part of it is that engagement that we have together with the guys and yourself.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for that. And I got to point out on that, when you talk about 90 minutes a week on top of the daily and other weekly and quarterly work that you do, it's because you run at a high level in Empire. So you're a guy who's been super committed in energy and time and money and effort. And so we have that. And you show up, because if you don't show up, it doesn't just magically happen.
And you may not feel like showing up that day. Not everybody wants to jump on that call, but you rarely regret it afterward. Never, actually.
Well, I was going to say, when you say rarely, I'm like, oh shit, I still got work to do then.
I myself. You never do. It's, yeah. Like, I'd rather go home and eat and lay on the couch and meditate a little bit before I go back to work. And that's what I do often, but not on that day. So it just helps. It gives you clarity. That does too. It gives you a lot of clarity on, I'm gonna try doing what Aaron's doing, or one of the other guys, maybe, to see how that increases my business or helps me out at home, or you just get a lot of it. And then if you elect to do a game plan. Wait, is that right? No, I was gonna say hot seat, but anyway. Then that's just icing on the cake with the cherry on top.
Yeah. So. Well, good. Well, hey, I just appreciate you, because you've helped me to bring things to this point just through who you are, as well as your investment, and kind of help everything elevate to this point. And then what's really cool right now, and I get a chance to kind of celebrate you on this, call right now. And it's, even recently, you've hit another year. Like, you've had a great practice. You've had a lot of good things going on. Forget about all the financial gains, because you've had some massive freaking financial gains over the last almost 3 years now. And that being said, though, I think maybe just even this week's call that we did was the one that you may have had the biggest and most genuine smile I've seen from you in a while. It was it wasn't forced. It wasn't affected by any other substances like alcohol. It wasn't any of those things. It was just Steve is getting okay with Steve.
Yeah. That's you hit that right on the head.
Well, right. It's been awesome. Now, let me ask you a tough one, and hopefully when somebody gets to this point of watching this interview, like, guys all the time, are reaching out to me, and some of them are on the fence, some of them are not, right? It's a yes or a no. But when they're on the fence, if somebody's on the fence, what would you say to them? If they're considering coming into Game Changer at any level, what would you say to them, Steve?
If they would just realize that they are the ones that make themselves the money. And this is an investment in the number one driver of your life and your practice in this case. I never thought of it that way until, not too long ago, as far as we are our number one asset. And yeah, you do. You look at the money and think, I can't afford that, or I can afford it, but that's a lot of money, and it's not, it's not that much money, it's not cheap, but you know what I mean? It's worth every penny, and you get every penny back and more, hundreds of thousands in my case. So why would you not invest in the money maker, then the happiness maker, and the home builder, and the wife, the person that makes the wife happy and the life happy. You are the king of you and your family, and you might as well show up that way. So make the investment to make that happen, and it will. There's nobody I know that it hasn't, unless they just gave up and didn't do the work. And you got to do the work, but it's not that freaking bad. It's not, it's an hour and a half a day, if that. And part of that's working out and eating, so it's just so worth it. It's hard to put in words sometimes.
Well, I think you did it well, and you touched on things that it's definitely about the practice, and it's about the thousands, the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands, as you said in your case, of growth. And that's not growth in 1 year. That's recurrent. Like, that's never going to go away. So it's building, compounding on itself, as well as, and definitely not more important, because I know some people that can have all that, but then they don't have the marriage that they want. They don't have the relationship with the kids. They don't have the health, crazy enough, with us as healthcare providers. They don't have those pieces. But the biggest thing that I've loved about you and that I'm seeing in you is that Steve is being Steve. And it's never trying to be Michael. It's never trying to be anything else. And
well, that's a first in this business for me.
And how's that feeling?
Oh, it's freeing. It's a lot, in addition to that, besides chiropractic, I have another business, and next week I'm closing on my 5th property in less than a year, and I don't see it stopping. I put my money there instead of in the up and down stock market. And I've learned that from you too. And maybe not the real estate in that particular part, but the thinking about other ways to make that safe. So
well,
there's a lot of things, a lot of other things that you get besides chiropractic and happy wife and stuff. You get balls to go and make other decisions and do some other things. So,
okay. I think that is a perfect way for us to end today.
Yeah, I would end it with balls.
You get balls. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my new slogan. What do you get?
Print
You
it.
get balls.
Game changer. Balls.
Oh man. All right. Well, again, I will close it on a serious note. It's cool that we have some fun, because sometimes there's some punches thrown, not literally, but virtually, figuratively punches, and we get in the weeds and we get our hands dirty. And you've been willing to do that over and over and over again, and built who you are today. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you mean to the group and what you bring to the group, and just happy to see what you're going to do in the future, Steve. So thanks for taking the time with me today.
Sure.
And, I'll let you get back to work at the lake house now.
I appreciate it, man.
All right,
Thanks
brother.
for having
Talk
me.
to you soon.
Let me know if you need anything.
Will do.
We'll see you.